A structure so deeply embedded, most of those inside it don't even realize what they are a part of. Institutions you trusted operating within a framework you were never meant to question. And while you worked, struggled to survive, something bigger was moving behind the curtain. In this documentary, we exposed the largest financial deception in the history of mankind. Not with options, but with evidence. Irrefutable, irrevocable, undeniable. This is not about politics. This is about power. This is about control. And most importantly, this is about you. Because the moment you truly see it, the illusion collapses. The distractions lose its grip. The noise disappears, and the question becomes unavoidable. When this film is released, the truth will no longer be hidden. It will be undeniable, uncontainable, unstoppable. My job is to expose it. Your job is to make sure the world sees it. Now, will you have the courage to face it, to share it, to break free from the system that was designed to keep you enslaved forever? Or will you ignore the greatest revolution of our time? The truth is here. You will either stand up and help us dismantle the Matrix, or the Matrix will enslave you and your family for 1,000 years to come. The choice is yours. God knows I did my job.
Richard Mack, a distinguished career in law enforcement and advocacy, former sheriff of Graham County, Arizona, devoted 20 years to law enforcement, serving in roles such as patrol officer, sergeant, detective, and school resource officer. Elected sheriff in 1988, Mack served 2 terms, graduating from the FBI Academy in 1991. His participation in the Academy indicates a period of professional collaboration with the FBI, as the program involves direct engagement with FBI instructors and resources. As Sheriff Mack made history by challenging federal overreach in Mack v. United States, a landmark 10th Amendment case decided by the Supreme Court. This victory preserved the independence of sheriffs and halted unconstitutional Brady Bill mandates. Safeguarding the Second Amendment. Mack's accolades include NHRA Law Officer of the Year, induction into the NHRA Hall of Fame, and the Gun Owners of America's Defender of the Second Amendment Award. He is also the founder of the Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association, CSPOA, a grassroots organization committed to restoring individual liberties and fostering collaboration between citizens and law enforcement. An accomplished trainer and public speaker, Mack has conducted seminars nationwide and appeared on major news outlets like CNN, Fox, and ABC. Married for 49 years to his wife, Dawn, he is a proud father of 5 and grandfather to 15. Welcome, Sheriff Mack, to the Mel Carmine Show. Richard.
Well, I think it's probably more than 49 years now, but you've been coming on my show for a few times for the last couple of years. So it's more like 51 years, right?
It is 51 exactly. We had our 51st on May 20th.
Yeah, so I got to get to Mr. Goodluck and update that video. Brother, it's been a while. We just got back from Las Vegas, and then I drove across the desert to go see my mom in California. That was fun. Mm-hmm. And it's been a while since you come to the Mel Carmine Show. I know there's a lot going on. People think that this thing is going to get over tomorrow. Listen, they are moving mountains, heaven and hell, to make sure that the reset doesn't happen as quickly as we want it. Because if all of us had, $800 million in our pockets, they would have a problem, wouldn't they?
Totally.
Right.
Yeah. If we were really funded, if the CSPOA was really funded, we would really have them. We would be in a position where we could have a national convention with sheriffs and invite 1,500 sheriffs there, and bam, see, the problem is the sheriffs of this country are not united in becoming the protectors of the people, right, and enforcing the Constitution. And we've been wanting to raise the money to have this national convention with sheriffs. We've done dozens and dozens of national conventions, but we've never done one where we had 1,000, 1,200, 1,500 in one setting. And that's what we've got to do. Now, do they do that somewhere? Yeah, the National Sheriff's Association is having one, I think, right now for sheriffs. but they don't talk about the Constitution. They don't talk about principles of liberty. They don't talk about saving our country. We do. And that's the main purpose for which we have been established. And that's the main reason I wrote this new book with my co-author, Daniel Perkins.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. So I just did a movie called DearMrPresident.net, DearMrPresident.net, not .com, right? It's about the straw man. So we're all worth this money that's been trapped and been traded over the years. You know all about that.
Sure.
You're high up enough to know that is not a figment of our imagination. That's a real deal. So we're all worth, $500, $600, $700, $800 million in these accounts that they've been trading since the day we were born. They ink our feet and they trade our all caps names, which is a corporation that the government has created. So if they were to release that money and we were to get the reset simultaneously, a double whammy, they would stand no chance. Meanwhile, they have all of the crooked judges, they got all the crooked sheriffs, they got all the crooked police departments, they got all the crooked everybody in place. They're well funded, they're well organized, and we can't seem to get any traction when it comes to showing, hey, you messed up with the election, you finagled the bagel, you subverted the American people, and you have a different outcome than was what the real outcome was to be, right? And so I want to try to use different words to try to keep it under the radar. With YouTube, you understand that probably better than anybody. So,
But what I understand about the straw man and all of that is that, first of all, there should not be an IRS agency at all.
Correct.
And there should be no Federal Reserve.
Correct.
And Trump has come probably the closest of any president of really attacking and removing us from a lot of the tentacles of the United Nations. Proud of him for doing that, except he just needs to take that one little step further now and get us out of the United Nations and get the United Nations out of here. Wow, what a great looking book. And then
I gotta give you kudos that whoever did the actual graphics for this, I mean, it's spot on. That's
isn't that great?
Yeah.
Folks, so look to the right side of your screen, folks, and look at that's the front cover. And the Capitol exploding is the back cover. But right there is the front of the book. The Democrat Murder of America. And you probably can't read the subtitle. Demagoguery in the First Degree. And that's, is there problems with the Republican Party as well? Of course. But folks, there is nothing more drastic and evil than the Democrat Party and what they're pushing. The abortion, the partial birth abortions, killing babies after they're born if they survived an abortion, and the murders. The murders. Can you believe that Democrats actually celebrated when Trump was shot and the other times that they've tried to go after him? And not only that, when they did it at the at the convention with the media convention, what do they call that? Started with a C.
I know what you're talking about recently.
When all of the press was together in one place, and the guy tried to shoot Trump there, was going to shoot others as well. Of course, the Democrats blamed that on Trump. Okay, so this Trump derangement syndrome stuff, we talk about that in the book. We talk about all the other things that the insanity of the Democrats. In fact, we did a chapter to list the insanity of the Democrats. And now we want to, since we've published the book just 3 or 4 weeks ago, we wish during that time to have added about another 20 insanity things to the list. Because this stupid Democrat Party, this evil, corrupt Democrat Party does not stop. Now, wait a minute. Take a time out there. We say this in the introduction. We know there are good people who are members of the Democrat Party. I don't know how many. I don't know if it's a lot. I think it's probably pretty substantial. But the problem is, all of them, almost all of them, have been hoodwinked and brainwashed.
Yeah.
And we're writing this book to bring us all together. We're Americans, as we put in the book that George Washington said in his farewell address. Being called an American should be give us a sense of patriotism that no other word could possibly give us. And what do? We fight all day long, and these politicians that we have elected and that we pay go there and yell at each other and cuss each other out and get nothing accomplished.
Yeah.
And we're sitting here going, why did we elect these people? That's exactly right. Do not re-elect those jerks, especially the jackasses that pretend to be a hero and they're part of the problem. Folks, we have got to get our country back. We do a chapter about socialism and communism. And that's probably where I want to spend a little bit of time right now. Page 102 and 103. Listen to this, folks. This is quoting the book. Page 102. Freedom and free markets are what made America the greatest nation in history. It was not socialism that made America. It was not communism that built the American dream. It was freedom. Socialism and communism are the antithesis of American idealism. Folks, communism and socialism are the opposite of what our country has always stood for. In fact, America fought 5 wars, 5, to stop communism and socialism. And now what does the Democrat Party do? Let me read to you what the Democrat Party is doing. You might not remember him, but because you're very into history, you probably remember Nikita Khrushchev.
Yes.
Okay. So do you know what his official title was in the government of the Soviet Union back in the 50s and 60s? He was the general secretary for the Communist Party. That was his title. He was the dictator for the Soviet Union.
Of course.
Okay. But his official title was General Secretary of the Communist Party. Wow. And he was fat and he was mean and he was angry and he scared me to death.
Yeah.
And now listen to what he promised America. He warned us. And this was way back in the early 60s when he said this. You Americans are so gullible. No, you won't accept communism outright. But we'll keep feeding you small doses of socialism until you finally wake up and find you are already communist. You already have communism. Then he said this, we don't need to invade the United States. We will destroy you from within. Whether you like it or not, history is on our side. We will bury you. Folks, do you know who's doing that now? Do you know who is fulfilling these prophecies and warnings and predictions from one of the meanest, most hateful people ever, one of the worst haters of America and dictators? Nikita Khrushchev is his philosophies and his predictions, his warnings right here are being fulfilled by the Democrat Party. Do you know the communists that are getting elected? No communist has been elected by Republicans. No socialist has been elected by Republicans. It's all the Democrat Party, and you've got to start asking yourself, why? Why are they doing this?
I'm not going to interview you, Mr. Mack. I'm going to have a conversation with you, okay? The bottom line is they infiltrated our schools at the pre-K, kindergarten, all the way up to freaking college. And boom, 30 years later, you got communism, and you don't know how it's because they entertained us with the Price is Right, and let's make a stupid effing deal and all this bullshit, right? And we got entertained because Americans love to be entertained, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
Right? And next thing you know, we wake up and said, holy shit, what the fuck just happened?
But you're blaming the Price is Right?
Isn't that a CIA show?
I like Bob Barker. Yeah.
But you understand what I'm saying.
Your point is well taken.
Yeah, the name of the book is Murder of America. The website is murderofamerica.com. Murderofamerica.com. Go buy the book. You'll read the book. If you read his books before, you'll know he writes a pretty damn good book. Go get the book. Tell others to buy the book. You got to support us. See, I think the conversation I want to get into, and I think you'll agree, even if they were to give us all of the money from the straw man and
Yeah.
the RV would happen tomorrow, and gold goes to $29,000 and silver's at $22,000, and the dinars and the zims and all of it. They give it all of it. We're all billionaires. Problem is that they are still in power. They have the position. They will exhaust all of our money, and if we don't get rid of the power structure, okay, they're going to win and we're going to lose. We've got to listen. If Donald Trump doesn't get his ass off his chair and get rid of all of this power structure, he is going to go to prison with his family for the rest of his life, just like Bolsonaro.
Well, the Democrats already want to put him in prison, and I'm afraid that he's going to be attacked immensely if the Democrats take power this midterm. And really, yeah. Do I wish that Trump was doing more? Yes. But you know what? I think he's done a lot of amazing things, especially his attack on the United Nations. He told the United Nations, but he just didn't go too far. He just didn't go a step further. But look, the IRS, how long has that been here? Harassing and victimizing and committing crimes against American people who are completely innocent. And why have we allowed the IRS to continue? At least Trump has said we need to abolish the IRS. But they need to push that. But do you think the Democrats would let him abolish the IRS? No.
Well, they have to get rid of it. It's an illegal corporation.
Well, of course.
Puerto Rico.
Well, even worse, the Federal Reserve. Do you think the Democrats are going to let him get rid of the Federal Reserve?
No, because everybody's eating off of this freaking mafia or structure. Everybody's getting a piece.
Yeah,
Everybody's getting paid off.
Yeah, and do you know the book? There was a neat book that I read back in 1998. It was called The Sovereign Individual. And it wasn't written by two right-wing lunatics like you and me.
Mm-hmm.
It was written by two renowned financial planners and economists. And you know what they said? They said that Hillary Clinton's trade in the cattle futures that got her $100,000 was a complete crime, and that was impossible to have done. And a follow-up study said it was 1 in 33 trillion that Hillary Clinton did that honestly. In other words, and I put this in the book, it's 1 in 33 trillion that Hillary Clinton was a good person or an honest person. She's not. She's evil. And then even worse, Bill Clinton and all his trades and all, in fact, this is my joke. Are you ready for my joke?
Yes.
This is kind of risque, folks, but it's funny. Okay. I sued the Clintons, took them all to the Supreme Court and beat them. Okay. So I kind of take it a little step further. I was the only person in the history of the United States to ever sue Bill Clinton on a non-sexual matter. Ha! Folks, that is actually true in a lot of cases. Look at all the girls and all the people and that sued him and vice versa. But in this book, in the same book written by financial planners, the Sovereign Individual said that the death of Vince Foster was the most poorly disguised murder in American history. And we said, well, maybe that one and Marilyn Monroe, it was a very poorly disguised murder. But also, even worse, Dorothy Kilgallen. Do you remember Dorothy Kilgallen?
Yes.
She was on What's My Line?
Right.
I almost said Price of Right. She was on a panelist on What's My Line?
Right.
And she was a reporter. And she actually, you're not going to know this, she actually did an investigation on her own of the JFK assassination. And she was really starting to make a lot of people worried that had covered that up in the Warren Commission report. So what happened is she died the exact same way Marilyn Monroe died.
Wow.
Sleeping pills, barbiturates, and drinking. Except they said Marilyn Monroe's was a suicide. That's a lie. But on Dorothy Kilgallen's, the police said, oh, this was a really sad accident. But Mel, do you know what happened?
No.
All of her reports, all of her notes regarding the JFK assassination were stolen the night she was murdered, the night she accidentally died.
Yeah.
And no investigation.
Yeah.
Folks, This seems to be a trend, doesn't it?
Yeah. Listen, as long as you got crooked attorneys and you got crooked judges and
Right.
they're in power, it's like, yeah, you can have all-wheel drive, monster tires on the truck, but if you're stuck in 4 feet of mud, you ain't going anywhere.
That's right.
You ain't going anywhere. So, remember IRS agent by the name of Sherry Jackson?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Sherry's a friend of mine. Sherry's been on the show a couple of
Yeah,
times.
she was an IRS agent,
Right.
and she was a whistleblower, and she got 3 years in prison for it.
Right, exactly, because she figured out that this is a scam, and she blew the whistle on the IRS itself, who she worked for. She said, Mel, we were getting paid $700,000 a year in 1987. And some of us, because we realized it was a scam, didn't pay our taxes, and the IRS looked the other way.
Yeah.
So they got to keep $700,000 in 1987. Do you understand what that's like, making $5 million a year today or more?
Yeah.
Okay. So they brought in a lot of money. They spread the wealth around to make sure that they harassed the American people, and none of the money stayed here. It went to the Vatican and the UK. And we're going to celebrate the 4th of July. It's an oxymoron.
She and Joe Bannister did the same thing. And
Exactly. It's an oxymoron. We're celebrating 4th of July.
Joe, and they arrested Sheila.
Right. We're celebrating 4th of July. Meanwhile, why are we still sending all of the every single penny you guys make with that goes to the IRS goes to the UK and the Vatican? Are we really free, or this is just another bullshit story?
We're not free.
Right? Yeah, I'm going to tell you a joke. I tell you, because the lawyers are all corrupt. I just said the lawyers are all corrupt. This engineer he died. He passed on. He goes to the pearly gates, and St. Peter's over there with the Mac computer, the latest Mac computer. He goes, I'm sorry, Mr. Sanchez, you're not on the list. So no. He goes, you better look. He goes, I'm definitely on the list. And he goes, listen, I'm sorry, you're not on the list. He presses the button, boom, and off goes Mr. Sanchez into hell. Right? 2 weeks later, St. Peter calls the devil. He says, listen, I sent you this guy, Mr. Sanchez. He's a engineer, blah, blah, blah. Oh, he goes, man, oh man, thank God you sent this guy. This guy's amazing. He goes, we got air conditioning, we got escalators, we got PlayStations, we got flat screen TVs. It's unbelievable. He goes, listen, we made a mistake. You got to send him back. He actually is on the list. He says, we ain't sending it back. Screw you. He goes, listen, if you don't send him back, he goes, I'm going to sue you. He goes, how are you going to do that? He goes, all the lawyers are down here with me.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we got crooked judges and crooked lawyers, it's like, okay, I said to somebody the other day, we know we're being poisoned with the food. Why don't we just, tell them, hey, these are the only ingredients you can use? No, because they have lawyers and they're going to sick the lawyers. Are you kidding me? You were going to have lawyers come and say, no, it's okay to keep poisoning American people, and we're going to allow that to happen in America?
Yeah.
That makes no sense to me anyway.
No.
So there's so many things that need to get fixed, right?
Well, corruption makes it all fall into place. Oh yeah, I understand corruption. I understand criminal government. And there's been so many victims of it.
Right.
And I was a victim of it a couple of times. So after I beat the Clintons at the U.S. Supreme Court, June 27, 1997, I lost my third election as sheriff in Graham County, Arizona. So some people from Utah contacted me and said, hey, we'd love you to come up here and run for sheriff. And I was a cop there for 11 years in Provo, Utah. And this is Utah County. And they want me to run for Utah County Sheriff, the second largest county in Utah. I said, you know what? That's probably a good idea. So I did. I moved back to Utah. I'm from Arizona. That's where I was born and raised. And so I picked up and we moved back to Utah, and I'm winning. I won the Utah County Convention 2-1 over my opponent. And so he's telling people, hey, this is really close. The poll said it's really close. It looked like I was going to win. Well, guess what happened? 3 days before the election, and there's still about like 17% that are undecided. And 3 days before the election, the IRS and the FBI both raid my office where my wife is the receptionist. And this is based on something they're really going after one of my clients. And they're going after him. And I worked for several people. I had several clients, including some food storage companies. And so They come in and she calls me on my pager and tells me to come in. I was out campaigning at the time in Springville, in the southern part of the county, and so I come in and I said, "What are you guys doing?" And I said, "Why is my name on this warrant? You're after my client. This has nothing to do with me, and you guys know it." And I said, "And not only that, you had 2 weeks to serve this. Why did you pick today?" The day that does me the most damage, because they already had the newspaper front page headline, Mack raided by the FBI. It was already ready.
Right.
And it came out then. And so then I lose the election. I lost all the undecided and a few more. I lost by like 21% or so. And so it wasn't even close, but all of us said it was going to be, including that same newspaper. Guess what? I never heard from the IRS or FBI again. No indictments, no interviews, no depositions, no charges, nothing. I never heard from them again.
Right.
Nothing. They got what they wanted, folks. And somebody on high made sure that they did this 3 days before my election. And 1 year to the day, this was June 8th, 1998. I beat the Clintons June 27, 1997. A year and 2 weeks later. Folks, if you don't think that this government is weaponized and insane, then you're wrong. And it's time we take our country back. And this is the problem with the Democrats. They support any criminal government like this as long as it's going after Republicans. That's got to stop.
Yeah.
And folks, the answer is in this book. Read the epilogue first, read the last chapter first, and understand that there is a peaceful and effective solution to all of this that we're really purporting in here. But we had to get your attention, and we're telling you the truth on that front cover. A lot of people don't like the truth, especially the Democrat Party, especially the high-ups. This is true. The Democrats are murdering America, and you good people in the Democrat Party, you have a hard time taking that. We expected that, but you've got to read this book. Do you want to save America? Do you want to save your family? Do you want to come together as Americans? That's what this book is about. But we tell the truth. And yes, we know it's really hard for the Democrats to face facts, and they fear the truth worse than anything. And the Democrat media, they fear it. And I talk about how the Democrat media lied to me, lied about me. It shows a picture of Sarah Sidner from CNN interviewing me. They came out to my home. My home was too small, so we went to my daughter's house just a mile away. And I have a picture of me with Sarah Sidner from CNN. And she's interviewing me in my daughter's house. And the only problem with that is she lied to me and she lied about me. And so I said,
because that's what they do.
Well, of course they have to. And CNN hired him to lie.
I hate when they say, oh, you guys are just a bunch of patriots. Like, we want to get paid. We ain't getting paid enough. Hey, we're not getting paid enough. That's why I'm coming out with tube1776.com, because I live in the mind of the podcaster. I know what you guys need in order to fight this war successfully. Listen, this book, murderofamerica.com, right? Murderofamerica.com. If you were to read the book and you like the book and you told 10 people who tell 10 people who tell 10 people 9 times, you reach 1 billion people. We know that 1 billion people are not going to buy the book, but a percentage of a percentage will. You sell 1 million books, now we could fight the New World Order because we have a little firepower, right? We could yell, we could go to Mar-a-Lago and get in the face as friendly as we possibly can of Donald Trump and say, dude, what are you doing? Right? Yeah. You understand? Yeah. This takes money. Why is this mad cow disease lady, what's her name? I can't think of her name.
AOC,
and the lady that works on LSD with the long neck, the lesbian girl, whatever her name is. Not that I'm against lesbians. I got friends of mine who are lesbians, but I'm just saying.
Rachel
Madcow,
Maddow.
Cheryl Madcow, whatever her name is, right?
Rachel Maddow.
Rachel Madcow, right? Why is she allowed to make $20 million a year lying to you? But Mel Carmine and Sheriff Mack and Nino Rodriguez and 107 were not allowed to make $5 million telling you the truth.
Yeah. Well, if people would do this, if people would do what you just suggested, and let's get 1 million people to buy the book, you know what? We would qualify for the New York Times bestsellers list. And then we might even get this book to be up for a Pulitzer Prize.
Right.
And there's no way they could stop it. There's
can't.
no way they could stop it, folks.
They can't.
And this book will roll forward because the solution that's in this book will roll forward.
Right. Exactly.
And wouldn't that be a miracle? Wouldn't that be wonderful if we join together and make that happen?
Absolutely.
Oh, my God.
We're educators. We're out here trying to wake people up with the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help us God.
Yeah.
Cut us some slack. Stop calling us patriots. We're not here because we need a Lamborghini, because we need to pick up some young babes around the corner, okay?
Right.
Driving a Ferrari or a LaFerrari or whatever, or a Lamborghini. No, we're putting it all back in to fight for you guys.
I've done that for years. I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know? Yeah. It pisses me off, but sometimes I get on these rants because I think they're needed. I mean, I did the movie Dear Mr. President, Dear MRPresident.net. People from all over the world said, I've never seen it explained so simple, so easy. Anybody can understand this. People buying the movie in record numbers, and they're constantly spreading it out there. But as fast as it's not going fast enough. I also need to sell 1 million copies because I need to do other projects so that, see, if Mel Carmine owns, for example, Tube 1776, a version of YouTube, but better, where we could really pay these guys what they're worth, okay? And we control free speech. And we control free speech. We own the machine because we figured out how to get the 1 billion people that are sick and tired of YouTube, sick and tired of Rumble, to come over to a new mousetrap that's completely, totally patriotic, no bullshit. Okay? And then what would happen? Then, the Louis Hermses of the world who are running for governor of California would probably win California.
Yeah.
So everybody wants to yell and scream about this, that, and the other, and we're all doing it on a platform that is in control of the microphone. We are not in control of the microphone. No. Someone's going to watch this podcast, whether it's electronically, through intelligence, artificial intelligence, or algorithms, what have you, and they're going to say, ooh, this is too sensitive. Let's turn it back by 89%. Yeah. That's what they're going to do.
Well, I've actually hired a publicist, and I want them to get me in front of, in fact, chapter number 30 is Media Liars, My Personal Experience. So I'm going to show you that picture of Sarah Sidner and me sitting in my daughter's house while she's interviewing me. She lied about me. She never mentioned once that I was the first sheriff in American history to sue the federal government and beat the Clintons and win. She never said that. She told Anderson Cooper that I was horrible and evil, and I trained sheriffs and police nationwide. Oh, he was aghast because she never told him what I teach him about. The Supreme Court case, Mack v. U.S., and the other sheriff went with me, Prince v. U.S. No, she didn't say anything about that. So of course they thought I was crazy. So I would too have if they hadn't told the truth. So here it is. That's the picture. That's Sarah Sidner and me in my daughter's house 3 years ago. And she's interviewing me. She interviewed me for about 80 minutes. And at the end, she says, well, Sheriff, I'm going to be fair. I promise I'll be fair. I said, no, you're not. I said, and she got all offended.
Right.
What do you mean? You don't know me. This is the first time we've ever met. You don't know me. And I said, you work for CNN. That's all I need to know. You're a liar. Exactly. And so I reinforced that in the book. And so then there's Scott Friedman from Dallas, NBC, he lied about me. The Walter Cronkite School of Journalism at Arizona State University, a university I knew my entire life. And I almost went to school there. And I've been on that campus numerous times while I was growing up, playing sports and other things. They lied about me. They did a big story. 5 of their graduate student journalists in the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and 3 of the professors all lied about me. And Mark Greenblatt, he was in charge of all that. And we showed him. We made them look and come to, I rented a conference room at a hotel. And I said, you guys could come and interview me after you watch my presentation that I do nationwide for police and sheriffs. Over 2 hours, they sat there and watched this. And they videotaped it. And so did I. And they never mentioned one thing that I said in my training. And yet they called me racist and white supremacist and a thief and everything else they could. And they couldn't document anything of that. All we said is watch my training and judge me according to the training I give. And they completely ignored it and went on and did a story that they already had planned before I even met with them.
Right.
These are what liars they are. And I put in the book, Mark Greenblatt, you are a liar. And that's in the book. And this is the subterfuge and the corruption of the national media that we have training our college students to do the same. They are literally training ASU students, journalism students, to lie.
Well, Sheriff Mack, let me ask you a dumb question. I know there's no such thing as a dumb question, right? Only the ones that's not asked. But let me ask you a question. If the people were really, truly to get behind me and you and say, you know what, I'm going to get behind this book, this murderofamerica.com book, and I want to see if Sheriff Mack is good to his word. We're going to try to sell 1 million copies of him. We're going to try to sell 1 million copies of Dear Mr. President.net. The links are down below. His link is going to be down below as well, always at the top. That's how I treat my guests. And I even produce movies for them, okay? As you're coming into the show. When that reality sets in and we don't honor our word, then you can go back out there and bash us and say, you know what? They did buy the Lamborghinis. They did go and have parties, and they were doing shots of tequila, and they partied it up, and they spent all the money. These guys are buffoons. You're allowed to do that. But put us to the test. You just got to redirect your money, folks. Redirect your money and put it in the hands of the right people, and the right shit starts to happen.
Yeah, stop donating it to politicians who are just going to screw you later anyway.
Right.
Donate it to the people that have actually come up with effective and peaceful solutions. And yes, we've got to cut some things from our government. We've got to cut the criminals first and foremost from our government. We've got to go after people who have committed crimes within the offices that they hold. And for heaven's sakes, do not vote for these people again. Right. Vote for people who actually can say the word Constitution without choking.
Exactly.
For heaven's sake. I'm going to tell you where I'll put my money. If we sell 1 million copies, I'll tell you what I'm going to do with that money. I'm going to hold a national convention with sheriffs so that we can get at least 1,200 sheriffs united. That's 1/3 of the sheriffs nationwide, so that we can get united in 1, going after election fraud investigations. 2, going after the criminals in Washington, D.C., deep state criminals who are destroying our country from within. And first on my list would be Alejandro Mayorkas, Merrick Garland, Dr. Fauci, and absolutely the IRS and the Federal Reserve. We could abolish those two and send the rest of them packing. We have literally taken Article 1, Section 8, where it says that the United States Congress shall coin money and regulate the value thereof. They turned that over to international banksters, and that's the Federal Reserve. There is no authorization for the Federal Reserve in our Constitution anywhere. The 10th Amendment that we beat the Clintons on says that the powers not delegated, that aren't specifically mentioned in the Constitution, belong to the states or to the people. And that's why what we're doing at CSPOA and what we're doing in this book is the solution. And it's peaceful and effective if we can keep it that way. And we can if we hurry up. Time is of the essence. One other thing that I would do if we sold 1 million books is I would give you $2 for each one.
I don't want it. I don't need it. I don't want it.
Okay. Well,
you know why?
We'll put it back into convention.
This is not about the money for me. Imagine if this episode right here was being uploaded to a Tube 1776 that we control, we own, by the people, for the people, and only for the people, and nobody else can get it because we have full power. Because we own the whole thing, lock, stock, and barrel. Imagine if you had 100 million people on that platform, and I say, you know what, Sheriff, you and I are become good friends, and we have. I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to plaster this all over make sure all 100 million people that are on our platform, being that it's still a new platform, will get to know about this book, and we'll make sure we'll sell this book for you. And I don't want the money.
Well,
you know what I want?
I'll invite you to that convention.
Yeah, I want to take these bastards down. I want to take these bastards down. Look, at the end of the day, Donald Trump, there's reports out there that he's going senile. I don't know if he's playing a part. I don't know if it's true. I have no opinion on it because I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not allowed to diagnose anybody, right? Yeah. But I could tell you one thing. He's only got 2.5 years left. He's in the danger zone.
Right. Yeah.
He's in the danger zone. He's got to make shit happen before the end of this year expires. This year expires and we're ticking down to 2 years. I'm telling you, folks, if you think that these people that have been infiltrated, they are the power source. They are the judges. They are the corrupt sheriffs. They are the corrupt police officers. They are the corrupt city hall officials. They are the corrupt educational system. They run everything. They are all communists. Every single fucking one last of them. Every single one last of them, right? They're all communists. And if we don't move them out as, arrested because you're guilty because of treasonous crimes against humanity, if the army does not move in, if Donald Trump does not move in with the army, I think this nation is screwed. We got 2.5 years. The end of this year, we'll have 2 years left. Who comes after Trump? Is it going to be an Eric Trump? Is it going to be a Bukele kind of guy, like the guy that's down in El Salvador? Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Or is it going to be a communist guy? Or is it going to be J.D. Vance and he takes his mask off? Or what's his name? I mean, I've seen videos of these guys.
It's the scariest one to me is Kamala president, AOC vice president.
Oh my God. Let's not even go there. Let's not even go there. Okay.
I told you that was scary.
I mean, do you see some of these videos of Rubio and the guy that's in charge of the war? What's his name? Pete?
Hegseth.
Yes, him and the vice president. I've seen some videos of them talking smack about Donald Trump. How the hell do you get that much egg off your face and continue on forward is beyond I can't do it. I can't get there. Go watch some of the videos of what these people have said about our president, and now they're working next to him and they think that they're his best allies. I don't trust them for a second. We got here because we elected politicians. If we elect other politicians, to think that we're going to, go down a different trajectory is ludicrous.
We've got a lot of unpacking to do.
No question.
We've got a lot of work to do still, folks. And look, that $2, I'll just put it back into the conference, which we're going to pay for all the sheriffs to attend. We're going to pay their way. We're going to make sure that they don't use any of their departmental budgets, and we're going to make sure that they go home with some money in their pocket. So that we're paying each of them an honorarium for being there and being part, folks, of this new movement in America that we, the sheriffs of this country, will, one, protect the individual liberty of everybody in our counties, and two, go after the real criminals, especially the corrupt politicians. Can the sheriffs do that even against the federal government? Yes.
Yeah. Well, Sheriff, let me ask you another dumb question. Facebook, communist or Republican? Communist.
Facebook?
Facebook, communist.
Oh, totally communist.
YouTube, communist or Republican?
Totally communist.
Communist. Instagram, all of them.
I don't know Instagram. I don't know Instagram, but I believe all of them are.
They're all owned by Facebook. Facebook,
Yeah, especially
owns,
TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok is now owned by Ellison. Okay,
Yeah.
Communist. Every platform that is out here that's controlling the narrative is communist.
Yeah.
And we're trying to yell as loud as we can, thinking that our message is going to get across. This is insanity on steroids.
Well, the Democrat Party's communist, and they're protecting every bit of that.
Right.
So,
Our message is not going to get across.
so that's the
Yeah.
reason for the book.
Yeah.
You know, and this book is so powerful, and it's the book of the year.
Yeah.
And folks, the reason it's the book of the year, because it's exposing the problem, it's exposing the disaster, it's exposing the murder of America, and it gives the solution.
Yes.
The
And I
solution,
believe
my
you're
friend,
right.
is-
I believe you're
well,
right.
yeah.
But wouldn't you rather have that book being promoted on a platform, whether it's that platform is owned by me or someone else? It doesn't matter. But on a platform that is for the Patriots, by the Patriots, and only for the Patriots, where there's no algorithms, nothing's going to slow that book down. Nobody's going to say, oh, we can't. No. Everybody could talk freely as long as you're not making any death threats, as long as you don't have any sexual content. Okay. You could talk freely and allow that book to reach the masses. Or would you rather do it on YouTube, where today maybe they decide this video only gets 1,000 views? They've done that to me before.
Well, we keep doing what we can, and all of us need to do the same. And I think that that's a bold way to go after this. Everybody listening to this program right now, do your part of getting
Yes.
this book in the hands of millions of people.
Absolutely.
You know,
They
do
can't stop
do
word of mouth.
your little corner of the world.
Yeah.
Do that, and if everybody does that, we've got us a new country.
Yeah.
We've got us actually not a new country. We'll have the old country,
Yeah.
the constitutional republic that God intended us to have.
Exactly.
So yes,
They can't stop word of mouth.
no,
They can't.
they can't.
Okay. I years ago when I owned the pizza shop, many, I'm going back. I was still in my teens with my dad and my mom. And I got a little card in the mail that said, if you have great food, one person is going to tell 100. But if you have cockroaches, one person was going to tell 1,000. That guy ended up being my exterminator for the next 15 years. Okay. So, it's all about marketing and really word of mouth. If the people really get behind this with the word of mouth, really, truly go and believe in us, I think that we can get there a lot faster. There's no question about it. You wouldn't even need a platform. It's just 1,000 people that believe in us that watch the show. And let's say YouTube stops at 1,000, but all 1,000 of you say, you know what? I'm going to send this out to everybody. These guys are right.
Yeah.
Simple.
Well,
It's not that difficult, man.
and in fact, that would be an example of the people of America taking charge of our country, just like Lincoln told us. We are the rightful masters of our courts and our legislatures. We are.
Yes.
And then he finished with that government by the people, for the people, of the people shall not perish from the earth. That's up to us to make sure that it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's us. The first three words of our Constitution, we the people, we are in charge.
Totally.
And what does the Declaration of Independence says? That when any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people, it is the duty of the people to throw off such government and establish new guards. That's
Any
us,
closing thoughts you have before we go? But I have to pay the bills around here too,
Yeah.
Sheriff. CarminesGold.com. I can get you as much silver as you want. Okay. Now all of a sudden there's no shortage anymore. Okay. I don't know why. There was a lot of bullshit going on the internet, but supposedly now I talked to my suppliers, the guys that are partners with me, and I can tell you, if you want $1 million worth of silver or $5 million worth of silver, can I deliver 100 trillion%? Yes. Okay. Also, I was summoned when I was an atheist to believe in God again, which I do, and to actually bring you the XRP, which I believe is going to be the one that's going to rule the world when it comes to moving money. And there is the face of God. I took that picture innocently, Sheriff, and there's the XRP logo in the sky and the face of God right next to the XRP logo. Notice it's not a Bitcoin logo or an Ethereum logo. It's an XRP logo. Notice that? Okay. And I could get you, again, as much as you want. Just send me a text message, 786-704-8817, 786-704-8817. Say, I need to buy a minimum of $10,000 worth of XRP. That's the bare minimum. And there is no maximum. I can get you, again, as much as you want. Okay. So I became the biggest salesman, I think, of XRP. I think I sold more XRP than Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple.
Wow, way to go, man.
Yeah. But anyway, hey, listen, when God summons you, you got to get to work.
Yeah.
You can't argue with God, right?
Exactly.
So, but yeah, and it's been one hell of a ride, let me tell you. And a lot of people are very thankful that they know that they have to be patient, that one day it's going to happen. Hopefully that day is sooner rather than later, because then I can call on you to fight this new world order, because I know you got shekels in your pocket. This is about money. Hey, this is not about the money so that we can go have fun. This is about money so we can win this new world order and leave a better world than the one that we inherited from our parents.
That's right.
Who were distracted by The Price is Right.
Okay. There you go, blaming The Price is Right again. Well, hey, thanks for having me, Mel. And it's always good to be with you. And to the American people watching the show, there is a solution. There is something we can do. Let's start with this book, learn from it, be educated, be informed, and then let's pursue
people can
the
reach
remedy.
you if they need to reach you or donate to you. How do they do that?
Just go to cspoa.org. If anybody wants to donate to what we're doing, cspoa.org. You can buy the book there as well, but the book has its own website, murderofamerica.com. But the main site for me, contact me, make a donation, C as in Charlie, S as in Sam, P as in Paul, O as in Oscar, A as in Adam, cspoa.org.
Thank you, Sheriff Mack. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you, brother. See you soon.
Bye-bye. The Mel Carmine Show begins in just 1 minute. Support the movement. Visit QFS1776.com for exclusive one-of-a-kind merch that makes a powerful statement. Protect your wealth. Cash is trash. Go to carminesgold.com and secure real assets, silver, gold, delivered anywhere in the U.S. Text Mel at 786-704-8817. Looking to acquire XRP? Minimum is $10,000 investment, and there is no limit, even up to $100 million worth. Again, text Mel with full details at 786-704-8817 and allow up to 24 hours for a response. And if by chance you're visiting Cape Canaveral or you are a local, visit stayingalive.com, alive with 2 E's, and recharge your body at the cellular level.